Hey guys, Zach with GT Garage here. So the Escort's still leaking gas, and turns out it has a tear in the fuel filler neck right when it meets with the gas tank. So today I'm going to show you how to replace the fuel filler neck hose. So let's get started and pull it in the garage. So if you've seen any of my other videos on the channel, you'll notice that recently with the Escort I had put a new O-ring and lock ring that goes on top of the gas tank. That's underneath the rear seat. And come to find out, it still leaks. And I did a diagnostic where I would pour like washer fluid or water on top of the sending unit on top of the gas tank and turn the key on so it shuts the evap system off, so that way when you fill it up with air, it will build up and bubbles will appear if you have a leak. And I didn't have any leaks, so I looked underneath it and saw that there was a split right where it connects to the gas tank just before the clamp. And anytime I filled any amount of it, it would leak back out on the ground. But then again, it still has the original fuel filler neck from when the car was new back in '93, and that was 31 years ago. And the reason I'm jacking it up from the driver's side and tilting it is because where the gas tank nozzle is towards the driver's side. And when these cars are at half a tank, there is still going to be gasoline sitting in the fuel filler neck as well. Now that the car is all jacked up, let's go ahead and open the gas door here, and we're going to unscrew the gas cap. Whoops, maybe not drop it like I did. Now what we're going to do is grab an 8mm socket or a Phillips head screwdriver and undo the two bolts here. So that way that black cover can come out, because what we're going to do is separate the fuel filler neck hose from the fuel filler neck. It's going to be a lot easier to go ahead and do this versus leaving everything the way it is and trying to squeeze the fuel filler neck in between them. Now that the fuel filler neck is unbolted from the side of the car, let's pull this black cover out. And the way you want to do this is it just lifts right out. There's the little lock pin just on the right. You're going to make sure you're going to push that in, and then that way that black piece will come straight out, nice and easy. And we'll just set it off here to the side. Next, behind the driver rear tire is the little cover that covers the fuel filler neck. And it's got one plastic clip right here, and then there's two 10mm bolts that you will unscrew, and then the cover will come right off. You could also take off the rear tire if you want, but it just comes out pretty easily with the tire still on. Now with that cover off, here is the fuel filler neck, which is held by that 10mm bolt. Now, as we look under the car, let me show you where that split was, right as it meets the gas tank, right before the clamp. As we zoom in here, you can see the split is right there. That's where all my gas was leaking out of anytime I put any type of gasoline in the car. Now, once you have undone the clamps and a few evap hoses, go ahead and wiggle the fuel filler neck out of the hose like I did here. Also, make sure that you unplug the vent tube from the fuel filler neck right here as well. It will enable you to almost remove the fuel filler neck from the car, and it'll be so much easier putting the new hose on. Now, just be patient. Go ahead and take your time trying to get the old fuel filler neck hose off, because it's going to be really, really stuck on there, especially if it was like mine that was put on from the factory when the car was new. It's going to take some time to move stuff around and get the old fuel filler neck hose off. Now, if it won't come off, you're not going to be using this again since you're replacing it. So go ahead and just cut around where it goes around the gas tank, so that way you can remove it without any problems at all, like I did here. And now take your time, look at the evap hoses and the vent tube hose to make sure everything still looks good. Now that the old fuel filler neck hose is out, I went ahead and installed the new one. It was kind of difficult to get the camera angle while I was moving stuff around to get it slid in, but I got everything in. All that's left is just double checking your work. I just got to move the clamp back over here and tighten it down, and then everything else is put back together. Now we're going to reinstall the cover, and that way we can bolt the top of the fuel filler neck back up to the car. Make sure you reinstall it the same way you took it out. Obviously, I forgot. Just slide it in through the door there, and then that way you can push that little prong back in, and it'll slide right back in, and then you can line everything up and bolt everything back together. Now go ahead and tighten back that one 10mm bolt to mount the fuel filler neck to the car. Then we're going to go ahead and put our gas cap back on. Then go ahead and tighten it a little bit to make sure you hear that click to know it's tight. And then you can go ahead and shut the door. With everything tight on top, I came back underneath the car and put the clamp where it needs to go and tightened it down. Went over everything, make sure everything was plugged back in. Next, make sure you reinstall the fuel filler neck cover and make sure you put the bolts and the clips back in there. Then right before we set the car on the ground, I just wanted to show you, when you jack up your car, you're always putting and lifting the car on the frame there. That way you don't accidentally put it somewhere else and end up going through the floor. Now we're going to lower the car back down on the ground, and then you are done. Man, I hope this doesn't leak gas again. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you'd like, and we'll see you guys next time for more Mustang and Escort GT content.